Look at that. That is a perfect, mathematically nearly perfect cubic inch to 0.001 thousandth of an inch. That's just fantastic. I love things like this. It's just great. I love that. What's up everybody, Peter McKinnon here and welcome back to yet another tutorial. Very excited for this one, the highly requested 10 tips in Premiere Pro that you should know, that your friends and everybody who's at all interested in editing video that uses Premiere Pro, you should know. Buckle up, do what you gotta do, get your coffee, whatever. We're about to dive into this thing. Let's get started. Okay, so these tips kind of range from some simple tips to some like, wow, how did you even think of that tips, to some old tips, things that have been passed around and floating around the internet, a little amalgamation, if you will, love that word, little collection of things that I thought would be great for anybody to know. Kind of ranging all skill levels, from people that have never opened the program before, to people that use it here and there, to people that use it every single day. My goal here is not to just single out one type of person, but to try to appeal to the masses so that you guys get the most out of watching this video. So with that being said, let's dive into tip number 1. Tip number 1, drag and drop, folks. So you guys know I am a big fan of organization. And when you're organizing your media before you even start editing a project, that's key. You wanna have all your ducks in a row before you start building out your timeline so that you can just work more efficiently. So usually to do that, you create different bins. Now, bins are just folders within your project window. The way I used to do this was I would click the new bin, it would pop up in the project window, I would name it 1DX Mark II, then I would go over and highlight all my footage and drag it into the 1DX Mark II bin, but there's a way faster way to do that. Just drag the whole folder in. Whatever folder that you need, drag it right into that project window and all your files will come along with it. So we got some B-roll here, we got a drone, we got a vlog, we highlight them all holding shift, we drag them down, we let go, and if we expand these, you can see that they all have contents. You don't have to do that separately. It's all done in one motion. Good to go. Taking that organization a step further, you wanna label your footage. That way, it's color-coded on the timeline. So when you just look down at a glance, you can see everything from a bird's eye view and know exactly where vlog clips are, drone clips, B-roll clips, and you can zoom into that spot very fast without having to be like, what was it? Was it here? Was it, what the heck is, I thought I had it. I thought I had it where? You don't have to do any of that. It's all color coded for you. So just highlight the clips in your project window by clicking on the bin itself and then hold down shift, click on the bottom clip, it's gonna highlight everything, right click and select yellow, select whatever colors you want for the remainder of the bins you wanna do this for. Then when you drag those into the timeline, they're color coded. Look at that. I just love stuff like that. Color coded clips, organized bins, yes please. Moving on to tip number 2. All right, tip number 2 is master clip effects. And you might be saying, Pete, what does that mean? Let me give you a little backstory on this. Sometimes when I'm editing a vlog, you guys know I do a lot of jump cuts. That's something I do for my style within these tutorials, within the vlogs. But if you forget to color grade that clip first off and you make 20 jump cuts from one piece of footage, what do? Well, you color the first clip and then you would have to copy and paste attributes and paste and paste and paste over every single cut that you made to try and get that color grade to match. But no, don't even worry about that. Instead of applying the color grade to the clip in the timeline, apply it to the clip in the project window. Let's open up our effects tab here and type in Mojo, that's some Colorista, quick kind of color grading. We'll drag that onto the clip in the project window. So once you drag that effect to the clip in the project window, you'll notice all of those clips are now color graded the same way in the timeline. However, I know what you're thinking. I know you're saying to me right now, but Pete, what if I want to change like the opacity of all those edits? Like how can you actually tweak? Maybe like I only want 50% of that color grade on that clip, but now it's full and it's on all of them. Zoom on up here to where it says sequence and you'll notice to the left, it says master. Go ahead and click on that tab that says master. This is where you can control all the effects for that master clip. That master color grade will come down to the bottom where it says strength. We'll change that to 50%, 43%, whatever. And now you'll notice that 43% is applied to every single clip in our timeline. Oh, just love learning new things. Tip number 3 is adjustment layers, and very much like tip number 2, you can apply an adjustment layer over top of all your footage and apply effects to that layer. That way, everything underneath that adjustment layer has the effects that the adjustment layer has. So you can kind of just apply all of your stuff to that layer and it affects what's below it, like this, for example. Here's a couple B-roll clips from the winter time. I miss winter. Down at the bottom, you'll notice a little page icon that kind of has a little turned corner. Go ahead, click on that corner, select adjustment layer. Just hit OK when that box pops up. That's gonna add a new adjustment layer to the project window. So go over to the project window, click on that and drag it onto your timeline. Drag it all the way out so it matches the length of your footage. Now we can apply our color grade or our effects to that adjustment layer, and it affects every single clip that that adjustment layer covers. Another little fun fact about that adjustment layer, if you guys like doing those fake widescreen bars, I know some people hate it and they're like, why do you do that? Don't you know anything? But if that's something that you like because you didn't shoot in a widescreen format, but you still kind of want to give it that cinematic look, we're just talking YouTube videos here, you can go over to your effects tab, hit crop, drag that crop onto your adjustment layer, change the top and bottom to 13%. Ugh, I'm dying here, guys. That's gonna throw those widescreen bars over top of your footage, but it's not gonna actually affect your footage. It's on the adjustment layer. So if you didn't want it at any time, you could just piece that out and good to go. Tip number 4, kill switch. This isn't a new tip. This isn't something I discovered. This is old as the hills. There's tons of literature, if you will, scattered across, strewn about the internet with regards to this little hack. But we all know the spinning wheel of death is absolutely no fun. That disgusting beach ball sometimes that just shows up when you're editing in Premiere Pro and it's like, no, you're not editing anymore. We've decided that you're finished. There's a way to get through that. So banter aside, if your software freezes when you're editing, there's a way to actually kill that spinning ball of death within Terminal so you can get back and save your project without everything just crashing. And you might be like, what? This is how you do it. It's a little convoluted, but it totally works. So let's say you got the spinning ball of death here. What you're gonna do if you're using a Mac, I don't know how to do it with a PC, but you're gonna open up your search, you're gonna type in activity monitor, and then you're gonna find Adobe Premiere Pro. You'll notice a little tab up there that says PID. That's the PID number. You wanna record down that PID number for Adobe Premiere Pro. In this case, it's 2034. Once you've memorized that or written it down, you're gonna go back up to search, you're gonna type in terminal. When terminal opens, you're gonna type in kill space dash SEGV space dash 2034, the PID number. I'm gonna put it on the screen what you have to write as I'm doing it here. Kill space dash all caps SEGV space dash the PID number. Bear with me. Hit enter and this is gonna pop up to say, sorry, an error has occurred. You can hit OK and you're gonna be able to save your project and get out of that locked screen. So you don't have to just like hold the power button or yank it out of the wall or throw it down a flight of stairs. It's kind of like your escape key. So use it at your own risk, but that is a way to get out of your stuff being frozen and sometimes get a save back out of it. Whew. That's some hacker stuff right there. I feel like we're in the Born Identity and I'm routing in through Reykjavik. I'm trying to hack this server before. Tip number 5, moving on. This is a super fast one. Tip number 5 is quick copying clips. Quick copy, we'll call it. Now, this is a super basic one, but a lot of people that don't know anything about video editing or are just starting in Premiere, you might always be selecting a clip, Command C for copy, Command V to paste. But if you wanna just duplicate a clip, just hold down Option, click and drag that clip over and let go, and you've duplicated that clip super fast. I use this every single day. This is one of those keystrokes that is always being used when I'm editing, so way faster than copy and paste. If you didn't know that, now you do. If you already did, congrats. You're amongst the elite few that are ripping through Premiere Pro. Maybe not the elite few, but you know, I'm pumped for you. I'm glad you know it. Tip number 6, we're gonna call select all. Sometimes you have a massive timeline. You just wanna move the whole thing to the right or to the left so you can squeak a new clip in there. But like, if your timeline's huge, like you gotta zoom all the way out and then highlight the whole thing and hopefully you highlighted it right to the right side. No, that's just, no. Hit A on your keyboard, you're gonna notice 2 arrows pop up. If you just click on the one clip that you want, it highlights everything to the right of that. Then you can just drag and move it out of the way. If you want to go left, hold shift and hit A again. That moves all the arrows to the left, and you can just click, everything to the left is selected, drag it that way. If you want to get back to moving it to the right, you just hit A and it flips those arrows back around. So that's a very fast way to just kind of part the Red Sea there, drop in a couple clips, and Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. Way faster, way more efficient doing that. If when you hit A, you don't get that, it might be because your keyboard's set up differently. So just go into your keyboard shortcuts, type in the search for track select forward or track select backwards, and you can assign that hotkey to any key on your keyboard. Listen to me, I sound like James Earl Jones right now. Ugh. This would be a fantastic cinematic. That's why that voiceover was so good, folks. Just get sick and then record a voiceover and you're just off to the races. I sound so much more epic right now. I sound like I'm narrating Planet Earth. Planet Earth. Dig it. All right, tip number 7, we're gonna call drop shift. So a lot of these little shortcuts and hotkeys are gonna help you edit faster like we've been talking about. Because sometimes if you wanna drop a clip on the timeline, but you wanna place it in the middle of the edit you're already building, sometimes you'd be like, all right, well, I guess I'll just highlight everything on the right, zoom out, highlight, move over, drop that clip in, highlight, move it back. Whereas that whole process could be eliminated by just holding down a key and dragging a clip in, and it would just do all of that for you. So the more of these things that you get comfortable with, you start flying through an edit, and that takes you from 5 hours editing a vlog to 3 hours, or maybe it takes you from 10 hours to 7 hours, but now that's extra time to hang out and go live life or make more content or learn more skills so that you can get better at what you're doing and take that from 7 to 3. So that's why I'm kind of teaching you some of these and why some of them may feel like, well, that's not very substantial, but they actually are substantial. So this next one, drop shift, is exactly that. If you want to drag a clip into the timeline, let's say we have an edit right here, we want to drag a clip into that, into the middle. If you were to just drag that and let it go, it would just drop it right in. It would delete, it would replace everything you're dropping it over. But if you were like, no, I want everything from where I want that clip to be to move to the right, but I don't want to have to highlight everything. But if you hold command and drag that clip over, everything to the right of where you want that clip to drop, it's gonna move over to the right and make room for it. It's not gonna replace. Now, if you hold option and drag a clip over and let go, it'll replace the clip. Just a quick little way to kind of move in and around the timeline without having to zoom out and highlight and slow yourself down. Moving on to tip number 8. Okay, tip number 8 is locking the layers. Very easy to do. Very helpful when you're working with music or adjustment layers, music tracks and adjustment layers. That way, all the cuts that you could be making to a vlog or an edit aren't affecting those layers above and below, because that can get super annoying. For example, let's say you're ripping through an edit and you start making cuts because you've got your hotkeys set up and you're like, oh, I'll cut here, here, I'll cut here, 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 you know, and if you'll notice, it's cutting the adjustment layer above and the music tracks below, and you're like, whoa, this is a mess now. So just go over, lock those layers, and you're golden. For example, over on the side here, there's a little lock beside the track. Click on that, click on the lock for the music track. It'll kind of gray it out with these like hashed lines, and then you're free to do whatever you want. It's not gonna affect your actual timeline. So now we're making our cuts, more cuts, 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 cuts everywhere, blah. And the adjustment layer and the music track are not being affected. Once you're done, you can go unlock those and you are off to the races. So locking your layers can really help you not mess up your timeline, because you want to keep it clean and keep it nice so it's not more convoluted than it already is when you're trying to make these long, crazy vlogs or videos or whatever it is that you're filming. Lock your layers. Tip number 9, coming right up. Okay, we've all been there. We've flown a drone, we've got some incredible footage, maybe you're shooting with a Red, whatever. You've got some hardcore 4K and up footage. You drop that drone footage on your timeline and you're like, yo, why is this not playing back? Why is it skipping? Why is my computer going to explode? It's melting, it's just not, I gotta watch this at like 20% quality in order to even get a smooth playback or even edit. So the answer to that is proxies. What is a proxy, you might be asking? So a proxy, for those of you that don't know, is kind of like creating duplicate footage that is lower resolution so that it's just easier to edit and easier for your computer to manage while you're working on your project. Your 4K and your high-res footage is still there, so when you go to export, those proxies that you made that are lower res, they kind of call back to that original high-res footage that you have, and you can still export your project with all the same cuts and color grades, and everything that you did to those proxies will then be applied to your high-res footage. footage. Essentially, it's saving time. It's just saving your computer from exploding and melting and saving you lots of frustrations. So this is how you do that. Let's drag in some drone clips here. Here we go. We got our yellow drone clips because we labeled them. Call back. And you can see it's like super choppy. Like, it's just garbage. So you're gonna come down to the toolbar that's right below your preview window. You're gonna hit that plus button, and then you're gonna drag this little kind of recycling looking icon down to your toolbar. Let it go there, hit OK. So come over to your clip in the project window, right click, hit proxy, then select create proxies. This opens up a little dialog box, and this is where you want to change that resolution to be a little bit lower, like 720p, so that your computer can actually handle it. You can do that by clicking on where it says preset and selecting 1280 by 720, and then just hit OK. Once that's done, it's doing its black dark magic, the dark arts, its wizardry in the background. You're gonna come over to that little icon that we dropped on our toolbar. You're going to toggle proxies, which turns it on, which effectively takes all that high-res footage and makes it so that you're using your 720 proxy, and now that footage plays back super smooth. Check that out. I love it. That is editing with proxies. You're welcome. You're gonna love it. All right, folks, that brings us to tip number 10. You've done it. You've done it all. You've stayed through 1 through 10, unless you close it now and then you didn't do anything. You quit. Don't quit. Tip number 10 is editing while you export. And it's the easiest little thing, because a lot of times I would export a rough cut so I could send it to a client or send it to a friend. And while that's exporting, you just gotta sit there. You sit there and you're looking around and you're just wasting time instead of just editing in the background and continuing to work on your project while it's exporting. And it's super easy to do. I just sound so terrible. I just want this to go away. I apologize. So open up your export window like you normally would, and instead of hitting export, hit Q. That's gonna queue it up. You can go up to the top right corner where that little green play button is, hit play, and then you are free to edit while that does its work. And you're done. You can keep editing on your crazy timeline like we are right now. How awesome is that? It's the little things, folks, that make the big difference. I always say that. It's not necessarily huge, obvious tips. It's the little things added up that make you a better artist, a better editor, better at what you do. And that's what I'm trying to do with you guys here. I'm trying to just help you out as best as I can. These are 10 tips that I love. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for putting up with my crazy deep voice that's just cracking and going all over the place because, virus. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hit that like button if you like this video. Smash it if that's something that you're into, 2018 style. Subscribe if you aren't already. And folks, I will see you next week. Goodbye.